And welcome back into Open Line. Chuck Long here with you for about another 10-15 minutes. Don't have a lot of time for those questions, so if you do have one of those legal questions you've been pondering whether or not to ask, I would get on the phone now. 737-7587 is that number to call. We're talking to the expert himself from the Kennedy Law Firm, Kevin Kennedy. All right, we're going back to the lines right now. Gerhardt is on the line with us. Gerhardt, thanks for your patience. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
I have a comment. I was watching Inside Edition a while back, and in the city of New York, in the state of New York City, a person bought a scratch-off ticket, and it was a losing ticket. He took it to the lottery, and they paid him being illegal, and I want to know your opinion. Thank you.
Well, you know, someone can always say that is a mistake. So one of the things I always like to tell people, you know, we had a person here in the law firm and they had money show up in their account. Well, they just spent it. Well, guess what? It wasn't long before the bank had brought a lawsuit against them and they're pursuing that. So just because you're paid under a winning ticket and it's a mistake, then the law provides for mistake or fraud, misrepresentation. You can't unjustly enrich yourself from somebody else's mistake. So that's always an open, and why is that? It's public policy. If this goes along, we want what's right, we want what's fair. The law is always going to go back to that. And I'm sure when we go to research it, we'll find some statutes that will support that theory of the law. But thank you, Gerhardt, for that question.
Absolutely. That's an interesting case, so we do appreciate that. Let's go right back to the lines right now. Norma is on the line with us. Norma, we're glad that you're joining us here on Open Line. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, my comment is I wanted to know if you had an estate and the estate was read without you being present, the money was dispensed out without me being present, and then the estate was closed without being present. I know that I can sue the other people. I want to know, can you sue the judge?
As a general rule, in the state of Tennessee, there's what is known as judicial immunity. What does that really mean? It means you can't sue the judge. Now, quite frankly, they may not have a good case. There has to be due process. So everybody listen, Kevin Kennedy, the lawyer, real clear. You have to follow the rules of due process. If you were not served, that's an invalid problem. So that's where we are. Always follow due process. Thank you, Norma.
All right, we do appreciate that, Norma. Thank you very much for calling in. Let's go back to the lines right now. Once again, not a lot of time left. If you do have one of those questions, make sure you do get online with us just as quickly as possible. Jim is joining us this evening. Jim, we're glad that you're here. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes. Several years ago, I bought a piece of property with the house on it in Montgomery County, Clarksville. And I made a mistake. I didn't title search it. So 4 years later, I get a note from the Montgomery County that they're going to assess or sell my property to pay this guy's 4 years ago taxes and everything that he never paid, and they can't make him pay. So I'm wondering, can the county come back and make me pay his taxes even though I didn't even own the house 4 years ago?
Here we go, Jim. The real world is, and thank you for asking the question. Everybody should get a title opinion. When you do a title opinion, it's going to say, hey, Kev, there's 4 years back taxes on this property. As a general rule, wherever the property goes, whoever owns the property is responsible for those back taxes, because the county's going to get their money, and all they'll do is say, nobody's paid these back taxes, place it on the auction block, we're going to sell it for back taxes. So unfortunately, Jim, that's where we stand. But thank you so much for the question, because I know it helps lots and lots of people. You'll go to the auction, you'll buy this, and you say, man, I got a great deal, $50,000, until you realize there's an IRS lien. I didn't know that. There's a mechanicman's lien. I didn't know that. There's a materialman's lien. Wait a minute, and then now there's a tax lien. I really didn't do that good. Check that, because it's not guaranteed when you just buy one at an auction. Good luck and best wishes, Jim.
We do appreciate you calling in, Jim. Taylor, who did you tell us was online next? All right, let's go to Steve right now. Steve, you're on open line. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, I stay with my mother-in-law and my son does, and we take care of her. You know, she's in a bad health. You know, have to get up probably 10, 15 times a day. You know, and go up to the bathroom and stuff like that. You know, and feed her. And she got a few kids. You know, and one of them supposed to be the foreseer over, you know, over her will, I guess. But I'm supposed to have life rights at this house. We got another farm. My son stays there and takes care of her. We don't work. And I don't know what would happen when she passes away. You know, if they can you know, we take care of her free, that they don't ever come over there and visit. You know, maybe 15 minutes. Just to
Steve,
bring something.
We hear that question quite often with lots of people. Yes. So, Steve, the real world is if you're going to have anything, a good understanding will keep down that misunderstanding. You're going to have to get it in writing in the will. People say, well, I'm going to leave you a lifetime estate on this property. Under the statute of frauds in Tennessee, anything dealing with real estate must be in writing. So they can say all that, but it won't stand up in court. You're going to have to ask them to give me a copy of the will, put it in a deed. Remember this, I can write a will today and I can revoke that will tomorrow. So you can be on good terms today and you can be revoked tomorrow, next week. So I would have it in writing, and the best way to protect yourself is to try to get a life estate. Let them sign a deed right now. When it's recorded, it's yours for life. And without it, you really don't have anything. And when it passes, the people who inherit that property will give you a 30-day notice. It happens every day at the courthouse. Good luck to you.
All right. Thanks so much for calling in, Steve. Kevin, we wanted to kind of look toward wrapping things up. And, you know, a lot of people I know who had problems last week with the snow, with the ice, and all of the problems that caused. Kind of what would be some of your advice to people who are having problems getting help? They're not sure where to turn, if they have the power to challenge like the insurance company, that kind of thing. What would be your advice?
Yes. My first advice is listen and don't really say a whole lot. Investigate, find out, always do the documentation, and then try to get to a lawyer. If you see that there is a problem, spending just a little money with a letter from a lawyer may settle it. We believe in a proactive approach. So if we identified the issue and we feel like they're not treating us fair, don't get any deeper. Go see a lawyer and see if they can stop it. You know what we've heard a bunch? We've had scores of people that have called the law office after this that broke a leg in a parking lot, that slipped and fell on a sidewalk, that people have fallen and broken serious injuries. And so all these claims are going to be coming in. So that's some other issues. Don't wait on the times. Get your documentation, get to your lawyer, and evaluate. Just because you fall on someone's property doesn't make it absolute liability. If it's a business, it's an invitee. So there's a lot of little tricks. Talk to the lawyer first. It will always make a difference. A smart man, a smart woman would. You tell your family, always protect your family.
And Kevin, in about the last minute or so that we have, too, one thing, of course, most people have phones now, and they have, you know, they can take video on their phones. If they have an accident, maybe they had an accident, you know, during the snow and the ice and that kind of thing. Can you take out when the officers come and they're getting the information and other people involved in the accident or other people who are standing by or commenting? Can you get your camera out and go ahead and videotape them? Do you have to ask for permission? What is the situation there?
No. The real world is, you know, you have a right and you really have a responsibility to do it. I had a recent car wreck with a mother of one of my close associates, and I said, well, get out in there and take some video, get the pictures of the cars before you move them, get pictures of the video of people around there. And, you know, many times the police don't want these people around. Well, they've got their agenda to keep the traffic open. You've got your own agenda to protect your family. Because believe me, the insurance company will always interpret it to their best interest. And your lawyer, the sooner you can get him that, the sooner he can look at it, the sooner he can get witnesses. That will help you preserve that evidence. photos. What was it Kevin said? A picture's worth 1,000 words. A video's even more powerful than that. So you can't take enough video. We would use that always to your benefit. It's really smart, and we can make a lot of. And remember, if you've got the evidence and you put it in a settlement demand and show the other, they say they got us. Let's try to settle. We don't have to fight for weeks and months. That's some of our techniques that really make a difference. And I love to share it. I want to tell it. I don't want people to be drug it. It was Benjamin Franklin said, a lean compromise is better than a fat lawsuit. He
Absolutely.
spoke the truth then. It's true tonight.
Kevin, as always, great wisdom, great words. You've helped a lot of folks, as always. And we appreciate everybody. Sorry we didn't get to all the calls, but thanks so much, Kevin, once again. Your wisdom is always appreciated. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll tell you how you can contact the Kennedy Law Firm. Right after this, you're watching Open Line.